139 and 140, we're going to look at the factors of 10 and 100. So that way we can convert those fractions easily to decimals. So we're going to zoom in on this. Recently, the city removed an abandoned building. The empty lot became a neighborhood for a vegetable garden. The garden was laid out into a square and divided into 100 plots. Neighborhood families were encouraged to sign up for the plots. How many different ways can this garden be shared equally by by more than one family without subdividing the plots? So let's start showing this. I have two families going to be using this garden. So if two families were to share this garden evenly, it would look like this. So each one would get 50 out of 100, or half of the garden. Now they already tell me I can't split it by 3 evenly, but let's look at what it looks like if I split it by 4 evenly. So each person would get this amount. So if I look at that, each person would get 25 out of 100, or as you can see, or 1/4. So let's take a look at 5. Let's erase this and see what happens when we try 5. So each person here is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So each person, it looks, if you count, they each get 2 cones of 10, so 20. So 5 goes into 100 20 times. So it'd be 20 over 100, or 1/5. If 3 doesn't go into the property evenly, even 6 won't either. 7 won't go into evenly. 8 doesn't. 9 doesn't. So I'm going to erase this and we're going to go so that way we have space to write on here. 6 through 9, they can't share it evenly. But let's look at 10. If I'm going to share this garden evenly with 10 people, each person, as you know, will each get their own space. So they each get 10, oops, they each get 10 out of 100, or 1/10. So number 1, the number of families who could share the garden, given the factors of 100 except for 1, and the factors of 100 are, and secretly all the numbers are up here. So let's take a look. I have 2, and I know 2 times 50 works. 3 doesn't work, 4 does. So I have 4 and 25. I have 5 and 20. And then I have 10. So we know the factors are 2 times 50 We also have 1 times 100, 4 times 25, 5 times 20, and 10 times 10. Using this information from number 1, you should be able to answer the rest of the questions. On page 140, we're going to look at how do we go from a fraction to a decimal. And you guys already know how to do some cool things with fractions. So if I wanted to go from equivalent, we've already worked with equivalent fractions. So if I go from 10 to 100, I know I'm multiplying by 10. And if I do it to the bottom, I have to do it to the top. And if I were to write this as a decimal, it'd be 90 hundredths. So let's try this. How do I go from 50 to 100? And remember, let's write our factors for 100 before we hit that up. So we have 1 times 100, 2 times 50, 4 times 25, 5 times 20, and 10 times 10. And these are the factors that we're going to be working with today. So 50 times 2 equals 100. So 2 times 46. Well, 6 times 2 is 12. I carry the 1. 2 times 4 is 8, plus the 1 is 92. So this would be written as 92 out of 100, or 92 hundredths. They want us to change the decimals by renaming each fraction with a denominator of 10 or 100. So I know I can multiply this one by 2, top and bottom, and I would get 6 over 10, which would give me 0.6. I know I can multiply 20 on number 5 by 5, top and bottom. I get 15 over 100, and that gives me 0.15. Number 7, I know I can multiply both by 4 to get to 100 on the bottom. And 4 times 4 is 16, and that would give me 0.16. So 13, I want you to do on your own. Which of these numbers can be easily divided by 10 or 100? Write no if it can't be, and write 10 or 100 if it can be. And they did 2 and 3 for you. Number 14, which of these fractions have denominators that can easily be divided into 10? Well, I know that 6 can't, so I'm going to put an X through that. And I know that this one can, so I'm going to just circle it. Which of these fractions can be easily divided into 100? Well, I want you to look up at this hundreds chart, or these factors up above, right here, to try it out. You're going to be doing all of them on the whole page, both pages.